Hey, real life, Justin Jordan here, your lead pastor, and just encouraged to be able to give you a little bit of update. As you are probably fully aware, the governor last week rolled out some new stages in regards to us moving forward on reopening the state of Idaho. And if you're not familiar with some of the things that he mapped out 4 stages of us reopening. And if you didn't see, he said that starting on May 1st, churches have the ability to actually begin the process of meeting together on Sundays as long as social distancing takes place. And so some of you have been asking, like, what's the plan? Is real life going to open up? And I am informing you today about what our plan is. We've been talking together as an eldership and as a staff for the last couple of days, and we've just been praying through this whole process, and we've decided that we are going to move forward cautiously. And what we mean by that is we are not going to start the process of meeting for Sunday services after May 1st as we move into phase one of this reopening. We've decided that it would be wise for us to be cautious to see how the cases of coronavirus either stay the same, go down, or go up. But with that being said, we're very thankful for the governor and him not only giving us a clear roadmap as to what it looks like to start opening the state up, but also the fact that he's really trying hard to allow churches to get back to operating normal. We appreciate that. With that being said, I want to show you our plan that coincides in large part with the plan that the state has put forward on the 4 phases. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that you can actually see this graphic. What you're going to see here is our stages of reopening. And on the left hand side, you're going to notice that stage one for the state of Idaho says that gatherings, both public and private, should be avoided, and all vulnerable Idahoans should continue to be self-quarantined starting on May 1st. So what that means for us is that nothing really changes. We're going to continue to do digital services and continue to do digital home groups in stage one. I know that there's other churches across the valley that are opting to start services, and that's fine with their decision. But when it comes to us and at real life, we've decided just to slowly see what happens with coronavirus. The last thing we want to do is cause major spread to take place in our community and to put people in harm's way. And so we're going to continue to do digital services, digital home groups to start. Now, phase two for the state of Idaho is anticipated to start May 16th. Now, the governor has also said that that stage of stage two will not start unless the numbers stay the same or go down. If there's an uptick in the corona cases, he will essentially keep the state at stage one. And that's where we're going to stay as well. We will follow whatever stage the government follows suit in. And so these dates that I have are just targets that the state has put together, and they're targets for us as well. But whatever stage the government is putting forth, we're going to follow the stage that we put in place. So what does stage two entail? For the state, it means gatherings both public and sorry, that was my dog. Gatherings both public and private of less than 10 people where appropriate physical distancing and precautionary measures are observed can occur. All vulnerable Idahoans should continue to self-quarantine. So what does that mean starting May 16th for real life? Well, we're going to continue to do digital Sunday services. But what we're going to start doing is allowing men's and women's small group gatherings to take place in private and public places where social distancing can occur. So for example, our home groups could rotate every other week, men meeting one week, women meeting the following week, and just allowing us to actually get together face to face and connect with one another and spend time together. The only thing is that we would not have children involved just because children have a hard time understanding social distancing. And so if you're a single parent, we'd encourage you to go because you've only got 1, 2, or 3 kids that are in that household. But for the rest of us that are married, we would encourage you just to choose which spouse is obviously going, depending upon whether it's a men's group or a women's group. Now, with that being said, we don't have any detailed plans about how to execute that, and we'll probably be empowering our home group leaders on how to organize a plan for that. So that's what stage 2 looks like. And so as you can see, May 16th, we still wouldn't be having Sunday services in stage 2. Now let me show you what stage 3 looks like. Stage 3 says that gatherings, both public and private, 10 to 50 people where appropriate physical distancing and precautionary measures are observed can occur. All vulnerable Idahoans should continue to be self-quarantined. Now, I want to just speak to this really quick. I've received an email from the mayor saying that even though the public gatherings have a cap on the number, they have allowed churches, starting in stage 1, to not have a cap on how many people can meet together, because essentially what they're saying is they're trying to trust churches to create safe environments for people. So the cap doesn't apply to churches. However, we are trying to show you that we're trying to essentially be cautious about even the fact of us meeting together publicly, because we want to keep people safe and we don't want to spread coronavirus. And so stage 3 says that gatherings can start happening in the state of Idaho. Churches obviously can meet in stage 1, but we're not going to. But in stage 3, which would we anticipate would start May 30th, we would continue doing digital services, but we would also launch 2 physical services at 9, 15, and 11, and put social distancing measures in place in our building. And we would do as best job as we can to create a safe environment, putting up sneeze guards around check-in, trying to create check-in with 6-foot distancing. We wouldn't be serving coffee. We'd be encouraging people to spread out in the auditorium. We'd be doing children's ministry with the check-in inside the building, but eventually, as soon as that's done and taking place, we'd be leveraging the outside with our kids as much as possible to create airflow, which is an important piece when it comes to coronavirus. And we'd also be providing hand sanitizer, masks for people that want to wear masks. Obviously, we would be shaking hands or giving hugs, but we would be launching 2 physical services. And we'd also be launching our home groups to actually start meeting physically as well with children in homes. Now, like I said, this is for stage 3, and this would be anticipated to happen May 30th. Again, if cases continue to spike, that date will be delayed, and therefore we would not have services either. We will only have services if we move into stage 3 and or stage 4 as a community. Stage 4, the state opens up much bigger with gatherings, both public and private, of more than 50 people where appropriate physical distancing and precautionary measures are observed can occur. Vulnerable Idahoans can resume public interactions, but should practice social distancing, physical distancing. And for us, stage 3 and stage 4, there is no change as to what we would do. We'd still continue to hold digital Sunday services for people that don't feel safe coming to church physically. We'd have our physical services, and then we'd have our home groups that are meeting throughout the week. And so, with that being said, that's our plan. As the state moves to different stages, we have the ability to start doing different things. But we've decided not to meet, even though we have the freedom and the liberty from the governor to start meeting this Sunday. We've decided not to start meeting this Sunday, and at the earliest we would start meeting would be it would be May 31st, or essentially when stage 3 starts on May 30th. And so that's what we've decided as an eldership and as a staff team. We've decided to walk cautiously, and we're praying and hoping that cases stay low or stay the same, and that we can continue to move forward in being able to come together as a community. I also want to let you know that I'm going to be sending out a survey along with this email that just helps us gather information about where you're at and what it looks like for you. At what stage would you feel comfortable coming to church? And this is just going to help us plan in regards to how many people might be coming. How do we keep numbers low in our auditorium? All sorts of different things. And so if you could please fill out that survey, I would appreciate it, and our team would appreciate it tremendously as well. So with that being said, let me switch this back, and there we go. I just want you to know that we are really excited to see you guys again. At the same time, we want to do what's wise. And we're praying for our community, for our leadership, and we're also praying for our church. We love you guys. We miss you. We want to see you, but we also want to just be wise. And so I know for some of you, you're like, we should just start right away. And for some of you, you're scared to death to come to church. And everybody's across that whole spectrum. And we're doing our best to love and to lead well and to lead with the wisdom that God has given us, not only through talking to the elders, the staff, but I've reached out to a couple of our people at our church that are nurses and been picking their brain about this. And I feel good about our plan and what God's calling us to do in this next step. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please know that I am available anytime. You can email me and let me know what you're thinking, and I would love to chat with you about your concerns. So with all that being said, that's where we're at. That's where we're headed. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys soon and looking forward to hearing from you. We'll talk to you soon, Real Life. Love you.